time now for a look at the day's papers. Oliver Farry joins me now in the studio. Hello, Oliver.
Good morning.
Now, François Hollande, David Cameron met in Amiens on Thursday, and the French leader is warning the UK about what just could happen in the event of a Brexit.
Yes, the right-leaning Le Figaro reports that migrants were top of the agenda. It says that the so-called jungle camp at Calais is, quote, a ticking bomb for the 23rd of June referendum. David Cameron did announce 22 million euros to help house migrants in Calais and deal with security. But France is warning the UK that if it leaves the EU, preventing migrants from getting to Britain will no longer be the French's responsibility. François Hollande says it is normal for a vote in any election to have consequences, while David Cameron says that the UK is stronger, more secure and more prosperous in the EU than out, leading some people to accuse the two leaders of orchestrating the line of attack. Les Echos says Hollande comes to the rescue of Cameron in his campaign against the Brexit. But Le Figaro also says that the migrant encampment in Calais has nothing to do with the EU, but rather bilateral agreements between France and the UK, which were signed in 1991. Now, this was confirmed by French Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve and also European Affairs Minister Harlem Désir, who said that there is no blackmail going on, but we will be able to cooperate more easily if the UK remains in the EU.
Indeed. Well, France does seem to be the EU nation really sort of speaking up the most about the prospect of a Brexit.
Perhaps understandably, because they are near neighbours, and also because there are complicated arrangements between them because the UK is not part of the Schengen free movement zone. The pro-business daily L'Opinion says relations between Paris and London are on hold pending the June referendum. Migrants dominated the agenda Thursday, and it was only really matters of defence and security that were really discussed with any sense of bilateralism. Both sides feel they are paralysed by the referendum, the paper says, with even the centenary celebration of the Battle of the Somme scheduled for the 1st of July, just a week after the referendum, in danger of being overshadowed by current events. The paper quotes an exasperated British diplomat who asked the media not to talk of a Brexit, but use another neologism, one that hasn't really caught on yet, Bremain.
Right, well, I've not heard that one. And of course, the migrant crisis is not just confined to Calais. It's a huge issue across Europe right now, particularly in Greece.
That's right. The Catholic daily Le Croix reports from the Greece-Macedonia border, where it says a humanitarian crisis is imminent. About 10,000 migrants are gathered there, out of 24,000 in total in Greece. Europe has just released 700 million euros in emergency aid to help Greece deal with the crisis, but Brussels also wants to stem the flow of refugees. Le Croix says the migrants are asking to either be let continue on their way or be sent back. Few, if any, want to remain in Greece, but they are stuck there for the time being. Le Croix talks to a number of Greeks who are helping migrants. One lady who's providing nappies and sanitary products to women says women in particular are being forgotten in humanitarian efforts. The refugees themselves say that the problem is not really lack of food, but lack of hygiene. Some have not been able to wash for more than 10 days. Some cities, such as Trikala in central Greece, have been welcoming, but it's at the border that the real problems are occurring. One man, Hassan, is particularly despairing. He's a mathematician from Syria. He says Europe is saturated. We're going to have to go to America or Canada or Australia.
OK, well, in other news, France's nuclear power is raising concerns, particularly in terms of its security.
That's right. The left-leaning daily Libération reports that France is intending on extending the operational lives of many ageing nuclear power plants, but its neighbours are concerned. A number of plants have been noted as dangerous, such as Cattenom in the east, which Luxembourg and Germany are both worried about. Luxembourg has already taken its concerns to the European Commission, saying the power station is not up to European norms in the post-Fukushima era, while Switzerland, which does not have nuclear power, is worried about the plant at Bouget, which is situated only 70 kilometres from Geneva. It says it's dangerous, two of its reactors being 37 years old. Now, French Environment Minister Ségolène Royal is to give the go-ahead to prolonging the lives of the French power stations for another 10 years. Libération's editorial says it's tempting given the ensuing cheap electricity that will come from it, but there is, quote, no way of knowing the consequences, and the decision should not be taken without the appropriate investment for safety measures and improvements.
Okay, well, Oliver, finally, there is concern about the soaring drug use in Africa.
Yes, L'Opinion says Africa has gone from being a drug producer to a drug consumer. Now, a rising middle class has fueled the rise of recreational drug use on the continent and now offers new outlets for dealers and drug gangs. It's no longer traditional stimulants such as khat that are popular in Africa, but also synthetic drugs. It's largely an urban phenomenon with a rise in use in Africa's many sprawling cities. A French foreign ministry report says Benin is now the main port of entry for cocaine in West Africa, most of it coming from Pakistan.
Wow, okay. Well, Oliver Farry with the press review this morning. Thanks very much for that, Oliver.